history, language, culture, mentality. Experts, activists, and concerned citizens' opinions on what it means to be a Belarusian. Identity.
Почему День белорусской дипломатии обозначили именно 22 января?
Why is the Day of Belarusian Diplomacy on January 22nd? If, as Andrei Dobkyna said at the round table of the occasion of the 100th anniversary of the Belarusian Diplomatic Service, the link is not to a specific service, but to Belarusian diplomacy as a whole. Then why was the first working day of the Soviet Foreign Commission chosen?
I think it would be ethical and correct to address this issue to Andrei Dobkynas himself and to the leadership of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'd like to say that, according to the Constitution of the Republic of Belarus, our state is the heir to the centuries-old history of the development of Belarusian statehood. The Constitution directly refers to this. Therefore, if we take that development into account, then, of course, the diplomatic service developed along with the state. Otherwise, it cannot be, and one without the other does not exist. According to our official historiography, the Principality of Polotsk is the cradle of Belarusian statehood. Then there was no diplomatic service as such, but it was the Prince of Polotsk who made truces, declared wars, and negotiated with neighbors. We know about the active role of Vseslav the Wizard, that in 1222, if I'm not mistaken, an agreement was signed between Smolensk and Riga. There are the names of these first Belarusian diplomats, Yeremy and Panteley. This agreement has been preserved in the archives of Riga. We must remember that the history of Belarusian diplomacy is rooted deep in the Middle Ages. The Grand Dukes of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, which was a medieval Belarusian state, carried out those functions, concluding treaties, agreements, forming embassies, declaring truces and wars. Particularly dynamic diplomatic activity was led by Grand Duke Witold after the victory at Grunwald. Moreover, in 1422, he convened the Conference of European Monarchs in Lutsk. This was a very important event because it was attended by the kings of Poland and Denmark, the princes of Moscow and Tver, representatives of the Vatican and the Holy Roman Empire. What is this if not serious diplomatic work? It helped strengthen the position of our medieval state. After the Union of Lublin, we became part of the Commonwealth. It was a confederation of our medieval state and the crown. The diplomatic service was formed by representatives of both countries. The first Minister of Foreign Affairs in 1791 was appointed our fellow countryman Joachim Kraptovich, whose family estate is located in Styortsi today. One could also recall the diplomatic service which was created as a result of the proclamation of the Belarusian People's Republic. On March 29th, the Commission on Foreign Affairs was established under the BPR Parliament. Diplomatic activity was very successful in the sense that Belarus was recognized by Ukraine, Latvia, Estonia, Finland, Lithuania, and others. An exchange of diplomatic missions was done. The Belarusian Consulate General was opened in Kiev and Odessa. Further, diplomatic practice was developed in the framework of the Soviet Socialist Republic of Belarus. Therefore, I repeat once again, our modern diplomatic service originates in the Middle Ages. We should proceed from this. We must rely on those traditions that were inherent in Belarusian diplomacy throughout its history, rely on this experience and move forward, while realizing the greatness and significance of our diplomatic service throughout all stages of the development of Belarusian statehood.
Что бы вы поставили в ряд главных достижений белорусской дипломатии?
What would you consider as the main achievements of Belarusian diplomacy during its existence?
Главное достижение белорусской дипломатии состоит в том, что сегодня...
The answer is obvious to me. The main achievement of Belarusian diplomacy is that today there is the Republic of Belarus on the political world map, which looks confidently into the future, pursues a confident foreign policy, actively develops diplomatic relations, and helps strengthen our authority in the international arena. That is the most important, although this achievement would not have been possible without the previous history. Of course, without the efforts of our ancestors all the way to the Middle Ages, we could hardly say today that we have our own independent state, our own Belarusian home, where our large Belarusian family lives.
Сегодня, безусловно, можно сказать, что у Беларуси наиболее тесные отношения.
With which countries besides the former Soviet Union Belarus has close historical ties?
Конечно, мы же, если посмотрим в историю белорусской дипломатии...
We had very close relationships primarily with our neighbors. Strong ties were established with Sweden, Poland, and Germany. If we consider even earlier times, then there is also Byzantium, the Holy Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire, Moldova, Wallachia. I now just run through different historical periods, but in fact, I mean that our neighbors and those political centers that played a bigger role compared to the rest were most important.
Сегодня, на ваш взгляд, как ветерана дипслужбы,
Relations with which countries are now a priority for Belarus?
Ну, конечно, очевидно, что это отношения с соседями.
Obviously, relations with neighbors, primarily with Russia and the European Union. Also, Ukraine, Turkey, and China. The latter is our strategic partner, but objectively, neighbors are always a priority.
в регионе какую Беларусь роль играет?
What role does Belarus play in the region? Is it really an effective platform for negotiations between conflicting countries?
Вы знаете, я думаю, что роль Беларуси
I think that the role of Belarus as a unifying platform that contributes to stabilization and peace in the region will increase. There are a number of objective reasons. Our geographical location implies that Belarus is in the center of events, both unifying and disconnecting processes. On the territory of our country, there is a divide between the civilizations of Roman and Byzantine Christianity, between Western European and Eastern Eurasian. God Himself has prepared for us the role of an important connecting element in the interaction between Europe and Asia. After all, these civilizations are not separated by any fence. There is a very active interaction, especially in the context of globalization. The role of Belarus is predetermined by its geographical position. I want to emphasize once again that in such conditions, the role of Belarus as a regional player will increase.
Как вы думаете, контакт с другими странами и народами
Does contact with other countries and peoples contribute to national self-consciousness, or does it all depend only on the internal cultural content?
значительная часть белорусов еще в 20 веке
It certainly does. On the one hand, a significant part of Belarusians as early as the 20th century, when they were asked which nation they belonged to, answered, "We are Tutasia," meaning local. This localness, Tutasiast, testified that our ancestors and parents were aware of themselves as local, but Belarusians became aware of themselves as a nation precisely in contact with other cultures and countries. We can talk about how the name of our country and our nation appeared and evolved. Realization came in the 18th and 19th centuries when new economic formations appeared. National self-identification occurs through an internal awareness of belonging to a particular culture, tradition, custom, but manifests itself through interaction with other peoples and cultures. It is very important.
Лично для вас, что такое быть белорусом?
What does it mean for you to be Belarusian?
разговор рассказал о том, что белорусы имеют великую историю.
At the very beginning of our conversation, I said that Belarusians have a great history and that we have something to be proud of. It is very important for me that we Belarusians be proud of our past, our culture, language, enlightenment, art, democratic institutions. Our ancestors wrote, in fact, the first constitution in Europe and the world, the Statute of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, and proposed such standards of democracy that surprise even today the law scholars at Sorbonne, etc. We must be aware of the greatness of our history, our ancestors, our people, the victorious people, the people who are able, based on the traditions, culture, and heritage of our ancestors, to confidently head into the future. But always with this heritage in mind, not discarding it and not forming something new. Continuity with all generations and our centuries-old history is very important.
Юрий Иосифович, большое спасибо за беседу и с праздником вас.
Спасибо.
Identity.